U.U.U. What's up, y'all? Real quick. Listen, guys, I was watching YouTube and I was looking at top albums of the decade, and I was looking at this guy put his top albums of the decade, and this guy put his top albums of the decade, and this guy put his top, and I was just like, how can you do such a thing, man? It's not, you can't just do that. Because you're giving your opinion. If I was to do a top albums of the decade, it would 1000% be analytical, man. I wouldn't be up here trying to give my opinion. There's no, I can't do that. Look, put it this way: 100 people watch this video and they watch me give my opinion of the top albums of the decade. That's coming from such a small tunnel. It's coming from one guy. And you just can't do that. But I can flip it around and I can ask you guys, 100 people, to send me your top albums of the decade. Put it down in the comments. And now we got ourselves a whole full page of albums, and we get to see which albums show up more than once, more than twice, more than 10 times, and they start to rise within the crowd. And then that album is the best album of the decade from 1,000 people, because they've all mentioned that album and it rose and it got the most counts and it got the most numbers. That's the best album of the decade. So coming from one person talking about the top 10 albums of the decade is impossible. It's impossible, guys. So yeah, man, I just wanted to get that little rant off my chest. So how can you do that? But we'll be interesting, guys. We're a metal channel, and I want to know the top metal albums of the decade, and I want to start collecting some data from you guys, man. So I want you guys to jump down in the comments and put your top albums of the decade, and we all get to look at each other and what we all put in the comments. So it's not just coming from me, it's coming from all of us. So everybody jump down in the comments, put your top albums of the decade, and we just start adding it up, counting it up, see what names show up the most, and then we get an idea of the top 10 names that show up the most in the comments, and that would be the top 10 albums of the decade. So do that. Let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Everybody jump down in the comments. Let's keep it metal only, so the list don't get all super long. Metal only, top metal albums of the decade. Try your best to just pick 3, guys. Just try your best to just pick your top 3. Put it in the comments so that we can look at each other's votes and see which one rises to the top. Let's do that. Let's do that. Come on. All right, y'all. Scratch that. Listen, I just realized the people who follow my channel, they ain't listening to the music from the past 10 years. They listening to all time. They listen to stuff from the 90s. They listen to stuff from the 80s. So yeah, man, scratch that. We'll do all time. We're gonna do all time greatest albums of all times, guys. So with that said, pick 5 albums, your top 5 albums from all times, guys, and put it down in the comments, man. So this is from y'all to me. We go put it down in the comments, and we go do the analytics. We go count up the votes. We go group it all up and see which names seem to pop his head and show his face the most, and then that's how we gonna do it. That's how we gonna do it, guys. We go count up the numbers, guys. We go count up the numbers, and then I'm gonna do another video and I'm gonna present it back. I'm gonna present it back to y'all, from y'all through me. Count up the numbers, and I'm gonna present it back of what we all voted as the top 10 albums of all time. Let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Come on.